my boss, Biarugawa, would have given me a holiday. I don't know, maybe to Miami. But we've gone way past that. I'm not even proud as I speak to you right now. Yes, you've given me a CV. The truth is, allow me brag a little bit. I think if I wanted the chief operations officer or head of operations anywhere, with the CV you've given me that I've paid you in this country, I think an institution would take me. So you've given me a good CV, I think. So, but that is not the point. The Nssf of the past would have bragged with that because we delivered on our mandate. But for us, the Nssf today and the future, it's about the purpose. It's more of, we are concerned about the purpose. How do we make the lives of our members better? We're starting to get down to the message. It's okay, even if you don't give me your smile and give me your ears, I'll still continue, please. So the thing is, we are concerned about the billions of money we've paid out to people. What are they using it for? Is it changing their lives? Is it changing their families? Is it changing the economy? What are they doing it? Are we following, ladies and gentlemen? In terms of our mandate, me, head of operations, paying, you have done it, good, mandate done. But I think that's not what we really are looking at. The thing is a purpose. Are people saving? Are they investing? What are they using the money for? Now that is beyond what you call the Nssf Act. Collect, invest, contribute, no. We want to have a conversation, we want to walk this journey with our members, and that is why we are here. And that is why we have a focus on financial literacy. Now, so for us, financial literacy is not even just about our members, it's about the entire Uganda. Not even those, whether you've left still with us, it's about the entire Uganda. The conversation will go, whether we'll achieve it in our lifetime, I'm not even concerned about that. I know we are going to get to a certain place where the marginal propensity to save is higher than the one to consume, where the conversations at home about money start with the parents, not because they think they know, but because they've gone through these classes and they are financially literate. Can I say for the corporates here, let me whisper, working in a bank or financial institution doesn't make you financially literate. In fact, yes, and you gave me the opportunity to speak. Let me speak. In fact, some of the most financially literate people are in the banks. Rebecca has told you that the people down there in Chikubo are very financially literate. Let me tell you, I have a lady I respect a lot. I call her Mama Betty. She used to sell like a shop there. She has taught 5 children through the university. She has a house in Chisasi. Now, recently when I went, I shifted from Nakaso, but when I went back down there, I was told now she has 50 acres in Mitiana. Now she is right there doing agriculture, and her children that have degrees, one industrial chemistry and the other one business administration, are in that shop selling. Can you imagine that? They've not gone for the corporate jobs, but I'm telling you, lives are changing. That said, so here is the thing. How many of us have attended our financial literacy classes? Oh, proud of you. Some hands in. Tubakubire mungalo. I would recommend, before you spend a dime, well, of course you'll spend some. Or if at least the bank has charged you for putting it there a little bit. But before you spend a dime, I would recommend that you attend these classes. Have you heard Rebecca's testimony? She has worked in Chikubo everywhere, but when she came and shared the things, she's like, I'm ignorant. I tell you what, arrogance and pride is because of ignorance. Whenever you meet a proud, arrogant person, it's because they lack exposure or they're ignorant. Does somebody agree with me? Because you cannot afford to, what gives you the right? Whether you're a pastor, there is Jesus Christ. that have changed the entire world. Whether you're an MD, we've seen greater. Whether you're an economist, entrepreneur, we've seen people buying 44 billion US dollars Twitter in just a blink, because he wants to connect with the people. So there is greater. There is nothing new under the sun. So there is no reason to be very arrogant to think that we cannot learn. Let us embrace the learning. So this is why we are focusing on partnering with other players in the market. It's to avail options to all of us, so you can make an informed decision. The cause is bigger than Nssf. The cause is bigger than the fund. Do you understand? Otherwise, then would be telling you, come join our voluntary savings scheme. Come, we have a unit trust soon starting. Come join us. Leave part of your money, bring it back. Definitely, of course, because our pedigree and the fact that we've proven ourselves, it's an idea I highly recommend, and we are available, that you bring back some of your money, if you, especially you don't know what to use it for or not sure, because our returns are competitive. So I highly recommend that, but that's not why I'm here. In fact, my aim is to see that you have so many options as possible. Britam, ICEA, Jubilee, there is, Prudential. You know these things better. You know all of them. Banks, these, options are there. But the issue is, we are saying, for us, it's beyond Nssf, and it's beyond wanting to have this money. It's about the member. It's about the Ugandan. Can you be able to have as much knowledge as possible so you're able to use your money and save it and invest rightly for better Uganda? Now, so the thing is, how can we reduce on this ignorance, if you want to call it? I can't get a better word. Allow me to use this word. So that, yes, we create a better future. So the thing is, ignorance shouldn't be part of the equation. At least let us inform you with a lot of knowledge that you need about financial literacy, such that among all the factors you're using to make decisions, ignorance, financial, is not part of those. So as I conclude, allow me to say to us that money isn't a very perishable good. It's not tomatoes that you must consume it in a few days, that if you don't consume it in those few days, your tomatoes are going to go bad. You understand? It isn't a hot potato that's in your throat, it's burning. You must spit it out to save yourself an embarrassment. Ladies and gentlemen, are we communicating? No, it isn't. So, I think for me, I don't understand why people become restless when they have money. I don't understand why you can't relax and think through the options and invest wisely. I've never understood. It's like there's an invisible force threatening one to spend the money, or else something's happening. I've never understood. People make hasty decisions when they have money. I do not understand. It's like there's an invisible force pushing you. I just do not understand. That's when all the Ponzi schemes, make quick money. That's when you buy the wrong land, titles what? That's when you invest in business you don't know about. That's when you're meeting people for ideas. I wonder why it's like it's hot. You must spit it out. It must go out of the pocket. It must go out of the bank account. I do not understand why. No, it isn't. It shouldn't be. Guess what? There is no law in Uganda against a Ugandan to put the money in a bank account, a call deposit or a fixed deposit, to put it in a unit trust or Britam and the likes, to put it in a treasury bill. If you don't want to lock it in a bond for a long time, first do a bit of a treasury bill as you're thinking. There is no law against putting it back somewhere. There is no law against that. As you're thinking, take some fresh air, sit, avoid the cloud, think through the options. You understand? You can consult the friends, the husband, the daughters, and some of them have been very successful at financially, and it is why you are where you are, that you're even getting your 20%, but then you're consulting them. Honestly, what went wrong? You understand? I mean, the financial advisors, there are people who are paid to do this. I've done this. I've met about 3 of you on a cup of tea, and I've said, you know, I have this, and you get back someone and say, yes, thank you. We are paid to do this, but even then, we got extra mile. You understand? That's what we do. But then you're asking your wife or your husband, which is not a problem. Money issues, you must discuss this, but first get all the knowledge you have. Go discuss when you're putting points and facts and this, so that that knowledge is able to convince whoever it is that you need to make the decision with. Makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, when you don't know what you want to talk about, guess what? The one who speaks the loudest is going to take the day. Do you agree? The one of the partners or friends who speaks the loudest is going to convince you in their idea, because you've not invested time to understand and know the facts and say, what do I do? So, and as the last one, so I've not given you how to invest. I've said, while you haven't made the decision, put it in T-bills, bonds, or fixed deposits, or unit trust, anyway, as you're still thinking. You understand? It's not a hot potato, you must spit it out. No, let it be there. There's no problem. As you research, learn, grow your financial knowledge, make informed decisions. This is money you save for a long time, a very long time. And perhaps it's a first lump sum that is heavy that you do get. So you need to invest it wisely. And oh, dear ladies and gentlemen, my customers, please do not call me and offer me a cup of tea because I paid you, and I paid you in record time, and then you're offering me fuel. This is your hard-earned money. After years, do not call any of my staff. This is what we are meant to do, to pay you. It's not a privilege. I think service in Uganda has deteriorated so much that for people to do what they have to do, they have to be thanked and given fuel or something. No. You pay me, ladies and gentlemen. The suit I'm wearing, the shoe, you pay me. You understand? As members, I'm here to serve you. And I should be able to do that and pay you in record time. And when I do not do that, you hold me accountable. A thank you is okay of a call. Well, perhaps everyone wants to be thanked. So please, do not offer the fuel, this. It is your money that you've saved for a very long time. You understand? And when you do that, I start to think, I think you got that money before you know what you want to use it for. Because me, when I get a loan, I don't even want those charges they take off, because I know what I'm going to use it for exactly and what it is. So please don't offer my staff anything. They will not take it. I can tell you, I know many examples that come to me and they send it back with mobile money. They send it back. That's where we are as the fund. You could say you hear about a fund. It is not heard of, and it does not happen, not at least in the lifetime when we are there. We're here to serve. Services are free, and when someone does what they're supposed to do, they've only done the bare minimum they are meant to do. So perhaps when they come and tell you about financial literacy, say yes, that's a little more. Yeah, of course, if you call Apple aside on a weekend after work and you want to know some information, maybe it is courteous that you pay the cup of tea. You understand? But then when also Apple eats a lot of things of 100,000, there is a problem. When he's taking the financial literacy, it's like he's paying. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. May the conversations continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Fred. Ladies and gentlemen, it is urgent. It is urgent. Say it's urgent. We are here to create a sense of urgency. We want your benefits to count. Because clearly, if 400 billion has entered an economy, something should come up. Nssf should point there and say, see what Nssf has done in the economy. So it's urgent, and it's beginning with us. Let me do one small thing and then take you to invite our keynote speaker. All the people who have spoken before, no harm intended, they have never been there. But I want to bring someone who has been there. So, first, when we are talking things of our age, for them, we give them and say, for you, you are paid to say these things. But we say these things because we want to be of purpose to you. We want to say Nssf has grown up members. I'm careful using this word. When you grow old at Nssf, you are awarded and you get your money. Growing old. Growing old is mandatory. Waking up this morning, we all grew old. But growing up is a different dynamic. How you make your financial decisions. Someone not in this room, but you will find a gentleman at 50 years still making decisions like a 25-year-old. They are not in this room. They have grown old, but they have not grown up. Let's take off time and appreciate the position we are in. So we are going to do a small anthem. I call it an anthem. We're going to. So I know I'm the one paid to do the talking, but you're going to help me here. When I do this, say here. Okay? That's all. Louder. Louder. All of us. The ladies. Now let's put in, I was going to say, put in energy like I have fed you, then I have remembered, you don't say those things. No, don't stand, it's okay. Louder? Louder? And you have been warned that you don't pay for my drinks, so, me who has paid you, let me make you, huh? Then when I do this, you say, we are just going to, just a small exercise. So, again, ladies, one of the things you need to appreciate is all of you are called, you are receiving a certain payment, or at least until recently you are receiving a certain payment. So you are in employment, and it's beautiful to be in employment. Because while you are in employment, you are louder. While you are in employment, you are, and while you are getting a salary, isn't it? While you have a job title. Most of you here have job titles, sir, something sir, Mr. This, General Manager, CEO, so SSO, FFO, something like that. Because you are paid to go and rest. Isn't it? Leave. Because you are paid to go and produce. Maternity leave. Because you are paid to go to hospital. Medical card. Because you are, what are those other benefits you people have? Tell me. Just shout them out. You have fuel. Because you have Wi-Fi. Because you have free trips. Because meetings cannot happen in the office. You have a boardroom, but you have to come to. Because but when you get, and that will be retirement. When you get, there won't be a salary. When you get, you have to buy your own fuel. When you get, no one will know you as former CEO. You have to use your name. When you get, no one is paying you for resting. You are on permanent rest. When you get, they won't be paying your medical bills. When you get, should you threaten to go for a trip, it comes from your pocket. When you get, you'll be in retirement. So what are you doing while you are still? To feed for your using your time. Because between and it's a matter of time. Mr. Chichi, please come.
Let's clap for Nssf. They're a special team. Really a special team. Every one of them is such a very, very fine soul to be in Nssf. Fred, Rebecca, Apollo, Anna Maria, and the rest, you are so special, so different. It makes us extremely hopeful, because if there be an institution like that in our midst, populated by Ugandans, this country has got a lot of hope. Please, thank you. Having listened to the submission from the team, I feel like reconfiguring my presentation and just go for testimony. After that, I will flash the presentation for you to just run through the points that they have been talking about in a better form. So here is the testimony. Ochichi has worked now for, what's the figure, from 87, how many years are those? 30 what? 35 years. I've worked for 35 years. Non-stop. At the Uganda Commercial Bank, I headed the biggest loan portfolio in the country. And that loan portfolio was bigger than all the other loans of all the other banks at the time put together. I left UCB, went to privatization unit. At the time, it was the name in the city. Then left privatization unit and went to the regional bank called the PTA Bank. And then there I was in the projects department, and later led in establishing the loan implementation department of the PTA Bank. And at the PTA Bank, we were distributing or disbursing loans. The lowest was $300,000 at that time. Today, the minimum is $1 million if you have to go to PTA Bank. And we're lending up to as big as $12 million on accounts like the Sembules, the Ginger Nile Resort, the Para, were some of the stories that Ochichi was associated with when I was here when I was in the PTA Bank. But that's for Uganda, because PTA Bank was covering 23 countries. But let me go to the testimony. The testimony was, PTA Bank said, I want to look after my employees very well. And to do that, I must give them internationally competitive salary. So our salary was in dollars. Ochichi was earning, by the time I was leaving, $5,000 per month. But here is the message. For that $5,000 per month, there was no tax. We're diplomats. Diplomats do not pay taxes. So we got a tax-free salary of $5,000 per month. Now the bank said, you are diplomats and you represent, so it can now move, eh? Beautiful. Right, so salary is in US dollars, the figure is reasonable. Then the bank goes ahead and says, we want when you retire, you should represent the institution in good light. For that, we are going to cover your school fees. For 4 children, maximum 4 children. If you have no child at all, we still know that you have got some obligations wherever you are coming from. So we'll look after 2 non-biological children. Actually, we're covering 6 children, 6 children. But if you have no child at all, you are allowed to just bring some 2 children that you are looking after, 2 biological children. We cover their school fees.
from nursery up to first degree at the university. Now, nursery, the amount per semester was, that is from nursery up to primary. It was $9,000 per semester. Multiply that by 2, 18,000 per child. Secondary, we went to $12,000 per semester. After that, for the post-secondary, we're at $18,000 per semester. I'm bringing this message because no amount of money or trying to look after somebody's financial needs without them getting engaged will rescue a human being from financial problems. So, let me pick up from there. The school fees has been taken care of. Reasonable figures. What did the PTA bank staff do? We said, fine, you are looking after school fees for everybody, but you are standardizing these things. My child, I'm now going to take them to France, or to the United States, or to the UK, where the fees will not be 18,000, it will be 22. And I'm not going to allow my child to be in an accommodation where he is sharing a room with another one. So I will take an extra facility from the bank, and they were there. We had again what we call education facilities. If you needed to look after more relatives beyond the 6, or if you wanted to give your children something beyond what the bank is giving as standard rates, you are free to go for the loan under the bank facility. So the people to make sure that the child is in the school a bit different from colleagues. Because everybody is taking children to the same kind of a category. Humanity likes distinction, being different, being a little bit more flash than the other one. Now the bank is standardizing things. It is done. So people take more money to pay more things in terms of school fees for their children. So people were indebted in terms of school fees. Number 2, the bank is saying these children should come home at least once in a year, every 12 months, wherever you have taken the child. So at that point, tickets are given, but by economy, you should travel by economy. Once a year, a child must come home and interact with the family. Do you know what the colleagues had to work on there? They said no. It is inhuman. It is wrong to keep away a child for 12 months without interaction. You lose the bonding and the bondage. So for that matter, we are going to take tickets on our own to get this child come every semester. Secondly, every child must be visited by all the family once in a year. So we take more tickets. So all over the city of Nairobi, travel agents had a feast with the PTA bank. So people had a lot of unpaid tickets. But people would say, if it's PTA bank, give. If it's PTA bank, give. If it's PTA bank, give. Let's continue the story, because I want to inform you here that you must be saying, if all I can access my 20%, I will be different. People have accessed more money, and they have ended so badly. And they end so badly when they still have another 30 years of energy. But nobody is looking after you. The tickets you used to enjoy, the great schools the children used to go, have ended. Let me continue the story. So now the school fees is covered, the tickets are covered, and you are adding on your own. Because you must be different. Let me keep emphasizing the word distinction. You want to be a bit different from the neighbor. The conversation is done when you are all speaking the same thing. So, the PTA bank said, every employee will have a holiday back home, where you come from. I come from Uganda, but we're in Nairobi. So to come back to Kampala, the PTA bank said, Ochichi, how many children did you declare you have? And you have a spouse. We're giving you tickets back home once a year for all your children. So that you don't spend money on the ticket. We are trying to look after your finances so that you are as comfortable as possible. The story is unfolding. So the tickets are covered. You are coming to your home country
everybody has flown by air, and you are back home. The bank said, no. When you reach there, those fellows expect a diplomat to send a Christmas. That represents somebody who has come on a plane and has been working in a diplomatic country. So the bank said, for you, the employee, we shall give you $200 for a holiday back home. Then your spouse, $150. Then the children, $50 each. The purpose was to make sure when you reach home, the financial burden is what? Eased. It is eased so that you really go there and your salary is almost intact and you are doing investments associated with a development bank called the PTA Bank. So that the home expenses have been taken care of. What does the fellow do? You arrive home and you are having a celebration of bulls and bulls everywhere for a long time. And you don't do that only once, a couple of times. The whole is getting into the money that is supposed to be saved. Let's look at another one. They look after our vehicles. If you are to go and check on the parking basement of PTA Bank, because PTA Bank is located in Nssf Tower on Kenyatta Avenue. So we cover floor number 22 and floor number 23 up there. But at the basement, there was a space for the PTA Bank parking space for the staff. Because all our staff, customers come from abroad. So there's no need for a big parking space for customers. But there was a space for employees. The brands of vehicles that were parking there was on a BMW and Mercedes. BMW and Mercedes. And we bought them brand new. There's not nothing like saying, you go to the whatever, this kind of things that we have here. We get them brand new. Brand new. So people go there, you pick your car, but then because everybody is going for Mercedes and BMW, what do? You have to get a way of being different. Let your brand be a bit of a certain version, and then the wheels of the car should be of a certain shining aluminum cover there. And then the music system should be what you call surround music system. So that when you switch on that music system, you see how the music is rotating around the car. So each time a new car arrives for an employee, you put an email. Mine has arrived. Let's meet at the basement at 1 p.m. to receive the new arriving Mercedes. Then you talk about it and see how different it is, how wonderful it is, how this one is the best choice, how you have the best taste. Now what have you done? The car loan had a limit of $25,000. Because of those extras, you take another loan of $5,000 to put things that make you as a bit what? Different. You have taken another loan. Friends, it was evil. The bank does this, we add this. The bank does this. It is as if the more you give me, the more I create more holes for myself. Why don't you stop giving me things so that somehow I stop doing these things here? Then of course we covered medical. But then we will not cover the beautiful teeth. If you wanted golden teeth and what have you, we don't cover that. So you go there and say, up to what level is the bank covering the maintenance of my teeth? I want one golden one. That one you take another one, extra loan of your own. Now that was what was happening in a great bank, and you can see how well intentioned the bank was. Friends, this is what used to happen. Because of this lavish, extensive, showy lifestyle, employees were getting financially stressed. They were supposed to be financially comfortable. They were more and more getting financially stressed because of the beautiful things that they were being given. So right now, if you are seated here and you are getting all these benefits, be beginning to think that many Ugandans are doing without them and their lives. What are you doing with the savings because you have been taken by your office? So let me continue the story. So, medical is covered. And another interesting one was, if you get a job with PTA Bank, they tell you, we are going to give you relocation allowance. who have disturbed you by bringing you from Uganda to come and get a job here. For that disturbance, we need to give you 1.5 times of your salary as a grant, so that you can start off with a life. You can get beddings, you can do whatever and whatever. So if your salary is 5,000, they give you 7,500 free to come and settle in Nairobi. Friends, the bank really wanted to take care of its employees. Here is the story. But before I go to the story, let me just put Ochichi in the picture. Ochichi has arrived in this glorious place. Having come from an environment of nowhere nearer that kind of lavishness, I decided, one, this is 7,500 I'm being given. I'm not going to just spend it looking for the best accommodation you can get and bring colleagues to see how well your beautiful apartment is. And bring colleagues to see and appreciate. I said, I will get that money and immediately must go back to Uganda because we have got projects going on. My wife was working in Bank of Baroda, so everything was sent to my wife's account. That this money has come, put it there. Let's proceed with the Nssf project. We speed it up. Construction was going on. So 2, Ochichi does not buy a Mercedes or a BMW. And it takes a short chassis Pajero that I had when I was in Kampala. I crossed with it to Nairobi. It's reading Ugandan number plates. It is this used vehicle and it's also parking alongside the what? The beautiful vehicle. And the conversation was ferocious and unrelenting. Mean, backward, not understanding. When will you enjoy good things? Look at it, where has it come from? To survive that for a month, 6 months, a year, you are alone. You have everybody is cleverer than you. You are the only one with a funny vehicle in the parking yard. So I parked that short chassis thing there. And I said, this one will work. No taking the loan. He said, this girl, when will you drive a Mercedes? When will you drive a Mercedes? This is your opportunity. And the conversation is united. How come everybody is the other side and you are? They said, you must be wrong. It is hard to go against the masses. And what it was you say that right now you're in the family of employment. You feel no family is not colleagues you work with. The truth is in PJ Bank, as people lost jobs because of financial stress and failure now to be good employees at the office because of the stress, the dismissal rate was extremely high. Extremely high. And whoever was dismissed, if you ever get colleagues calling you to check how you are coping, good luck. You are knocked off, you have gone back to Uganda, and I know police who came back to Kampala here after the things went sour. Not a single person will call you. You're on your own. So, but let me go to the story where Ochichi is isolated. And the worst bit for me was, as I was in there, a relative also comes to Kampala, to Nairobi. Also takes up a job there and tells me, why don't we get a beautiful accommodation somewhere? I said, no. I have an apartment at the end of Kenyatta Avenue in a place called Milimani. Milimani is decent. So I get a single room apartment. It has a large sitting room area with a bed. Then there's a kitchen area. Then there's a bathroom. And I find it beautiful because my family was in Kampala. Now relative comes and goes to Yaya Center area where some beautiful apartments were, and the person gets a good accommodation there. The relatives go there and come and see where I'm also staying, and they come back to Kampala and say, Ochichi is squatting. In Nairobi, he is what? Squatting. Now you hear that, and in the office you are negatively assessed. Now relatives also are saying, this fellow it's not, are you backward? What's wrong with you? But let me tell you again, I was in Milimani, in a service apartment. Beautiful, but it was not anywhere near the houses where my colleagues were staying. In Karen. So, there's a phone here. All right. Hello. At the back, you're hearing me now? Okay. So let me make this faster now. So colleagues go and enjoy these kind of beautiful things, but just to show you how some of the things can cause you stress. A colleague who had unpaid tickets, and a lot of loans unpaid, and even colleagues in the office, was sent to Zimbabwe, Harare, to assess a possibility of installing a Sheraton hotel in Harare by the PTA Bank. So he leaves the bank and is in Harare, not knowing that the PTA Bank president had already made arrangements from Harare to the person in charge of the equivalent of Uganda Investment Center, the person in charge of the tourism center of Uganda, in Harare. So he reaches there and he receives a phone call from these people that he had been picking tickets from and was not paying. And the person now went straight to administration and said, I'm tired of these promises. I want my money. If I can't get my money, I want to talk to the president of the bank. The tickets have been outstanding for too long. The money is hitting over $25,000. It's too much money. So the head of administration calls the fellow, and I don't want to mention the name. The fellow is called from Harare. Please return to Nairobi. If you don't, this fellow is reaching the PTA Bank, and the policy is clear. Any financially discipline that puts the bank in disrepute, you must leave. And many have been dismissed. So he quickly takes a return ticket to Nairobi and comes and talks to this fellow. Please, why did you and tries to sort out that case by taking another loan from another bank to try and sort out the fellow who was now beginning to eat him up. Now he does that, but he's supposed to have a presentation at the credit committee about the Sheraton Hotel. Did he look at the facility? Did he do any research in Harare? No, because he had to retreat quickly to resolve the financial crisis in Nairobi. So, but then what does he do? He picks another related proposal of a hotel and then he panel beat it until he reads very well. And mark you, all the fellows who work in that bank, they are not average fellows. Super! So the fellow goes in and picks a document and reconfigures it and takes it to the credit committee, makes a presentation. The president of the bank says, did you, in the course of writing this report, also interact with investment center? Said, yes, I did, except that I didn't brief the boss. Did you also, in the course of being in Nairobi, talk to the tourism center? Oh yes, I met them. The president was seeing something that was not adding up in the document. He makes a phone call to Harare, and they tell him, we waited for him, he never turned up. We waited for him, he never turned up. Immediately, administration is told, please get the passport, check. We had given him 7 days. How long was he in Harare? Did he even go? They found he went. But he came back immediately. And when he was in Nairobi, all that time he didn't turn up in the office. He went as if he's still there in Harare. So they told him, this is the end of the job. When the job ended, let me bring this out because it reflects many of us here. When the job ended, the PTA Bank had another benefit. It said, anybody whose contract ends, we pay you 35% of all the money you have earned since you joined the bank. 35% is massive. But listen to me.
Because the bank had learned that many employees would be paid and they dash out of the city and they leave unpaid debts in the city of Nairobi. They say, we will pay you 50% and wait for 90 days for anybody who might turn up to see whether you have any other loans within this city, and should anybody turn up, we shall call you to confirm the authenticity of these loans. So this fellow loses a job. And the first thing was, let's calculate your 35%. You are hitting toward $200,000 within the 3 years. Because the turnover rate was extremely high. Extremely high. You have been 35%. The money is massive. Then the bank says, let's first remove all the loans you took internally. For education, for whatever I call it, all those, let's recover them immediately. So bang, out of that 150 or so, 70 has been removed by the bank. The remaining bit there, the bank says, we are giving you half. So you have about $50,000 in your hands. $50,000, it's in your hands. The other 50 has been kept just in case somebody turns up. What did this person do? If you want to see how financial literacy can be so distant an animal from a normal human being. In PTA Bank, the average degree was 2 master's degrees. Average, easily. And each person outstanding from wherever they came from. Outstanding. Now, you've been given this 50,000. You have 2 children whom you have been paying these abnormal additions. The bank says, for the final year, if the child is in a year where first semester has been paid by the bank, there's 1 more semester. So the bank will pay 1 more semester to finish that financial year for that child. But thereafter, whether they are in second year or first year, the rest of the time, it is now on you. What does the man do? He waits for the bank to pay off this 1 semester and says, children, me, I'm not going to relocate you. These people are joking. I'm going to look after your school fees. 2 children. So come the next semester, now the entire 18,000 is on the fellow. But the child was not only having only that cost of 18,000. It is an additional money because the child was sleeping in a decent way representing a diplomat. So the 50,000 is immediately pushed in artificially to try to push this fellow. You know very well that the child has another 2 years. That's the time to make a break. You still say, no, we shall see. Let me pay the 50,000 I've been given. You pay the final 50,000 to the child. There are some more 2 years left. The useless fellow is trying to put the Mercedes on sale. The useless fellow is trying to put the television on sale. The useless fellow is in a mess. So he tried to unbundle all these assets to try and push this kid. He can't make it. Finally, the child is time to come back home. But the PTA Bank had given tickets for you to already leave the city because your job was what? Ended. And they give you all the money for those tickets, including the children who are what? Abroad. So what do? You now use that money to try and push the kid at this 1 more semester. How foolish. What happens? Finally, the next semester, the child is pushed out of the accommodation and goes to share a room with another child. Next, the child is not allowed to go and attend lectures. And the kid is beginning to have real trauma. How can this happen to daddy? How can this happen to daddy? How can we fail to pay the basic school fees? He's now sharing accommodation with the other kids who used to have a very accommodation. Now he can't even go for lectures. Finally, the child cannot even travel back home. The child cannot travel back home. The kid is supposed to start doing some small job somewhere. What a pain. And then finally you do something and get the kid back to Kampala. And you want to take the kid. When they came back to Kampala, those days, National Housing had Nalia houses. 2-bedroom Mabati units. I don't know whether you remember those units.
They were the first unit of national housing. So that's where the person was having a mortgage being paid, two bedroom. Now these kids who used to be in single rooms, now the girls have to take one of the rooms, the parents the other room. The boys, where do you sleep? Sitting room. They pay. As people move from beautiful personal rooms in Nairobi, in Karen, a place called Karen in Nairobi, to now where you come to this simple house, those days there were no tiles, non-tiled house. And the children are sleeping in where? The boys are in the sitting room. And then you put a child in Nalia, and then this child who used to have a good school in Canada, they are failed to pay the Nalia school fees. The conversation at home was zero. You could feel it. Everybody laughing, you almost want to ask, why are you laughing? Why problems in this place? Why problems here? Dad is not talking with mommy, mommy is not talking. Then everyone is quiet. But everybody understands the situation very, very well. Friends, if you are here imagining that I can never do anything, I can never sacrifice for my children, ask yourself, whatever I'm trying to do, can I sustain it, assuming the check stops tomorrow? Can I sustain it, assuming the check stops tomorrow? I can never sacrifice for the sake of my children's education. Good statement. Why don't you select the best school in Uganda? But by the way, there's another better one in Nairobi. But there's another one better than Nairobi in Johannesburg. There's another one better than Johannesburg in London. Please look for the one of London. Sell all the land and go to London. Pay one semester and close it. If that is what it means to be caring. If that's what it means to be caring. So later I met some of his children and they said, Uncle Ochichi, what you have done, why didn't you tell Daddy to do the same? What I'm saying here is the kids that are making you look artificial have brains and they can interpret things. Some of them were prefects in P7. Remember when you were a prefect in P7, you looked like you could be in charge of a cabinet. But those are the fellows who are looking at little kids who don't know things. You can't take them into real life discussions. My kids never went to the international schools. They remained in Kampala Capitals. And then later they went to Cambodia Junior School. It wasn't a conversation about Ochichi. Look at him! Look at him. This is a chance for your children to be in an international school. Look at him. Where are your children? They are in it. How much is that? Because the 18,000, they are not given cash. They tell you bring the bill from the school. We pay the school. If the school is charging 15, that's what they go up to. If the school is charging 12,000, that's how far they go. But they can go up to 18,000. They don't give you that money. So if Ochichi puts a child in Cambodia, the 3 children that I have, even just one semester equivalent, Cambodia cannot take for all the kids. So they say, whom are you saving the money for? The bank is blanking for you. Whom are you saving this money for? Friends, we can have what we call logical conversations. At the end of the day, you will be alone sorting out these situations. So my children remained in Cambodia Junior School, and the others were in Kampala Capitals, which were very good schools by Ugandan standards, very good schools. But as we were doing that, we were working on a project in Bogolobi. As we were doing that project, as we were working on that, we were buying land in Soroti. The land I bought when I was in PTA Bank, I paid 5,800, so 8 million shillings at that time. The same land today, because it's 14 acres, in near Flying School, 14 acres. The same land today is valued at 960 million. I paid 8 million shillings. Just know that that is nowhere near any other investment you can dream of. When I was in the UK doing my MBA, the FTSE index, Financial Times index, was 2,500. Today it is
7,500. That means the stock value has tripled. But that is after about over 20 years, because I was there about 1994, over 20 years. Now, this land that I bought when I was just leaving PTA Bank, in 15 years, has grown 100 times. The food has grown what? 3 times. The other one has grown higher by 100 times. 80 million is 900 million now. But there was a price to pay to pick some of that money and put it there. My brother was a branch manager of UCB, sorry, Stanbic at that time. So he said, this land is going and people are failing to pay. Teacher, please, my brother, take it. Take it. We had the money, we paid it and left it there. 14 acres are now there. Easily, 900 million. The price we paid, 8 million. The land that I was buying in Kiswa, at that time the price was going per unit, it was 4 million. Kiswa now is at 350 million. I'm just informing you that you can be driven to a corner where you want to demonstrate your success or your financial achievement. You know the beauty of a red number plate with a diplomatic number plate from Nairobi? You can't match that. As you arrive, it is different, it's recognized. It's recognized. So, but here is the pain. When the child was removed from Nalia, and now you cannot pay the school fees of a local school. The pain at home. The pain at home. And you look back and say, all had been taken care of, but I became artificial. When we talk about financial literacy, friends, whoever you are, please.
Driving business.